The year is 1893. Chicago was bustling from the World's Fair, which drew in thousands of visitors and press. Amidst the excitement and innovation, America's first serial killer lurked, building a massive labyrinth within the city filled with horrors beyond imagination. This is the story of H Holmes, a man whose charm and manipulation led him to kill an estimated 200 people in just 5 years using his murder castle. H Holmes, originally named Herman Mudgett, was born May 16, 1861, in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. He was raised in a very religious household where he had a very close bond with his mother. As a child, he was bullied very severely. One noteworthy instance took place at a doctor's office, where he was shoved into a medical supply closet full of human skeletons. He had only one friend as a child. His friend fell off of a roof while they were playing and died in front of Herman's eyes. Even at a young age, it was clear Herman believed himself to be above the law as he engaged in numerous petty crimes. He got married while he was very young to a woman named Clara who bore his child. Around this time, he became an apprentice to a doctor and began to study medicine in Vermont. It was there where he discovered his fascination for dissection. During his studies, he would bring home the parts of the bodies he examined. His roommate at the time found a baby's corpse stolen from the local medical school hidden under his bed. This medical school had a shortage of human cadavers for study, so Herman decided to go grave robbing and give the bodies he found to his school. He was able to make a large profit from these bodies. At school, Herman's classmates did not like him. They felt creeped out by him and thought he smelled bad. They called him a variety of taunting nicknames. After medical school, Herman moved to Chicago and decided to reinvent himself. He started to go by Henry Howard Holmes, or H Holmes. Holmes found employment at a pharmacy after the death of its previous owner. Using money he gained from petty crimes and scams, he was able to build a large 3-story building across the street from the pharmacy. He named this building the Castle. He repeatedly switched builders who he did not end up paying, so that no one would know the true layout of his building. The first floor of the building consisted of his pharmacy and a handful of retail stores. He opened the third floor as a hotel for the incoming World's Fair. The second floor was where the true horrors were. The rooms were windowless, soundproof, and inescapable. They included a plethora of odd architectural features, such as doors that opened to brick walls, stairways to nowhere, and a maze-like construction. He had 2 massive furnaces and pits of acid hidden in the basement, which he used to dispose of bodies. Only Holmes was able to navigate the castle due to the many secret chutes and passageways. He had an affair with a married woman named Julia Connor. Shortly afterwards, both her and her daughter Pearl went missing. These 2 were later believed to be his first victims. Afterwards, he got engaged to another woman named Emmeline Segrand, but before their wedding, she mysteriously disappeared. He followed this pattern for some time, wooing and proposing to women and then killing them. He started to shift his victims from random women to his employees as the hotel grew. He often put his victims into rooms with gas lines until they died of asphyxiation. After killing, he would put his bodies down a chute, dissect them, make skeletal models, and then donate them to science. Holmes had a partner in crime named Benjamin Pitezel, who helped him manage the hotel as well as his scams. He was unaware of the true horrors going on behind closed doors. One day, Holmes and Benjamin devised a plan to make some money. They were going to take out a life insurance policy on Benjamin and then fake his death. Holmes was not very secretive about this plan, and told a fellow criminal named Marion about it. Marion wanted in on the deal. When the time came to fake Benjamin's death, Holmes ended up killing him instead by chloroforming him, and made it look like an accident. The police identified this as a murder, and decided to investigate. Holmes then proceeded to kill Benjamin's 3 children. They were his last victims. When Marion noticed he wasn't getting his money, he told the police about Holmes and Benjamin's scheme to commit insurance fraud. This made Holmes the police's #1 suspect in the murder. They couldn't find any evidence against him, so they arrested him for the comparably small crime of horse burglary. When Holmes was in custody, the police went through his castle and saw the many horrid things on the second floor. They also found jewelry belonging to many of the missing people Holmes had murdered. Due to these discoveries, Holmes was charged with murder and sentenced to death. He confessed to 27 of the murders, however some of the people he claimed to have killed were later found to be alive and well. It is suspected he killed up to 200 people, but no one truly knows due to his thoroughness in disposing of the bodies. His one request before dying was to be buried in concrete so that no one could dig him up and dissect his body, like how he had done to his victims. Before his execution, he famously stated, "I was born with the very devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer, no more than the poet can help the inspiration to song, nor the ambition of an intellectual man to be great. The inclination to murder came to me as naturally as the inspiration to do right comes to the majority of persons."